America faces a choice as stark as the wildfires scorching our forests and the hurricanes flooding our cities. It's a choice between two radically different paths on climate change and energy. In one corner, Kamala Harris, champion of the Green New Deal, pushing for a clean energy revolution. In the other, Donald Trump, a fossil fuel devotee, promising to resurrect the coal industry and tear down climate regulations. The 2024 election isn't just about picking a president, it's about picking our planet's future. Do we invest in wind and solar, creating jobs and cleaning our air? Or do we double down on dirty fuels, jeopardizing our health and our planet's stability? The stakes couldn't be higher. On one side, we have science, which tells us climate change is real, human-caused, and an urgent threat. America, the choice is yours. Do we believe our own eyes or not? Kamala Harris doesn't just talk about climate change, she acts on it. As a senator, she co-sponsored the Green New Deal, a bold plan to transform our economy and achieve net zero emissions. As vice president, she championed the Inflation Reduction Act, the most significant climate legislation in American history. This law invests billions in clean energy, creating jobs and reducing pollution. Harris's message is clear. Climate action isn't just an environmental necessity, it's an economic opportunity. It's about creating a future where America leads the world in renewable energy, leaving behind the dirty fuels of the past. Donald Trump, on the other hand, seems to think climate change is a hoax invented by the Chinese. His administration rolled back over 100 environmental regulations, gutting protections for our air, water, and public lands. He withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement, isolating America from the global effort to combat this crisis. Trump's energy policy is stuck in the past. He wants to bring back coal, a dying industry that's bad for our health and our economy. His approach is short-sighted, dangerous, and frankly, embarrassing. Fracking. It's a word that sparks debate, dividing environmentalists and energy advocates. Kamala Harris's stance on this controversial issue has evolved. During her 2020 presidential campaign, she called for a ban on fracking, citing concerns about water contamination and methane emissions. However, as vice president, she's acknowledged the economic importance of natural gas, particularly in key states like Pennsylvania. This shift reflects the complex political realities of energy policy, where balancing environmental concerns with economic factors is crucial. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has remained steadfast in his support for fracking. He sees it as a path to energy dominance, a way to unleash American energy production and reduce reliance on foreign sources. The question is, can we afford to keep extracting and burning fossil fuels even as the planet warms and the consequences become increasingly dire? The future of transportation is electric. Electric vehicles are cleaner, quieter, and more efficient than their gas-guzzling counterparts. Kamala Harris understands this. She's championed policies to accelerate the transition to EVs, including tax credits for EV buyers and investments in charging infrastructure. She sees the potential for EVs to create jobs, reduce pollution, and decrease our dependence on foreign oil. It's a vision of a future where our cars don't choke our cities with smog, and our dependence on fossil fuels is a distant memory. Donald Trump, however, seems content to stay stuck in the slow lane. He's mocked electric vehicles, calling them expensive and not good. His administration rolled back fuel efficiency standards for cars and trucks, a move that benefits automakers but hurts our health and the environment. Trump's backward-looking approach to transportation is emblematic of his broader climate denial. He's ignoring the technological revolution happening before our eyes, clinging to a past that's rapidly fading away. The transition to a clean energy economy isn't just an environmental imperative, it's an economic opportunity. Kamala Harris understands this. She's championed policies like the Inflation Reduction Act, which invests billions in renewable energy, creating jobs, and boosting American competitiveness. These investments are creating a new generation of green jobs, from solar panel installers to wind turbine technicians. It's a win-win. We get clean energy, a healthier planet, and a stronger economy. Donald Trump, however, sees things differently. He's called climate spending wasteful and a job killer. He prefers to subsidize the fossil fuel industry, propping up companies that are polluting our air and water. His approach is short-sighted and bad for business. It's like investing in typewriters in the age of the internet. You're ignoring the future and clinging to the past. Renewable energy is now often cheaper than fossil fuels. The choice is clear: invest in the future or get left behind. Climate change is a global problem that requires global solutions. That's the idea behind the Paris Climate Agreement, an international accord signed by nearly every country on Earth. The agreement aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, the level scientists say is necessary to avoid catastrophic consequences. Kamala Harris understands the importance of global cooperation on climate change. She supports the Paris Agreement and has pledged to rejoin it if elected. She sees it as a critical step towards addressing this global crisis and restoring America's leadership on the world stage. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has called the Paris Agreement a bad deal for America. He withdrew the U.S. from the agreement in 2020, isolating America from the rest of the world and undermining global efforts to combat climate change. His decision was short-sighted, reckless, and damaging to America's reputation. Trump's America First approach to climate change is misguided and dangerous. Pollution from one country affects the entire planet. We need to work together, sharing knowledge and resources to find solutions that benefit everyone. The 2024 election is a pivotal moment for America and the world. The choices we make today will determine the future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come. We can choose the path of climate action, led by Kamala Harris, and invest in a clean energy future that creates jobs, improves public health, and protects our environment. Or we can choose the path of denial and inaction, championed by Donald Trump, and continue down a road that leads to a hotter, more dangerous, and less prosperous future. The choice is stark, but the message is clear. We can't afford to get this wrong. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does.